If you're trying to learn another language, you should never do these things. What things, you ask? Well, I don't know, because it's from a language blog on the website the Mezzofanti Guild, and they tell us 19 things you shouldn't do when learning a foreign language. So let's see if we agree or if it's nonsense. Let's begin. Language learning is all about trial and error, correct? You try one approach, it gives you crappy results, you try something else. Yes. Those of us who have already learned foreign languages tend to find it much easier to learn another one because we have learned a lot from our previous mistakes. That's actually correct. And successes. Mistakes and successes. We know what not to do the next time around. All right. While everyone takes their own approach to language learning as well as plethora of you should do's, some of which may benefit some but not others. For today's post, I've decided to take 19 do not do's, which I believe are hugely important for all language learners. Fantastic. The most important thing before you do anything, of course, is to have a real purpose for learning and to be resolutely determined to succeed no matter what. I agree. All right, so whatever distractions get thrown at you, you're going to see this through the end. If you don't have that level of motivation, then stop reading now and find another hobby. No, don't find another hobby. Find a way to gain that level of interest and motivation. That's what I would say. All right, but if you do, then read on. All right, let's see. Number 1, don't miss the importance of being able to paraphrase and describe. Yes, we all have a different understanding of what fluency means. I talked about what I believe to be fluency a while back. We could check that one out. Actually, I'll open it for a later video, which can basically be summed up as this: being able to describe or paraphrase unknown target language content using the target language itself without needing to translate using your own language. For example, I might not know the word for library in Russian, say, but if I can describe a building that has many books, which I can borrow, a quiet place, a good place to study, etc., using Russian, then you could say I'm conversationally fluent. So I don't like it as a way to describe fluency or not, because I prefer, honestly, to use the European frame of reference. I think it's just more indicative, it's better suited for this kind of... So in my opinion, fluency is a B2+. That's what I would put it. So you don't have to be extremely professional at C levels, but... I mean, depending on how easy or difficult this is, I mean, some B1 could do this, maybe, which is good. They're good B1s, and this is a very good skill to have, by the way, the ability to paraphrase. Doesn't necessarily, it's not what makes you fluent. I disagree with that. Anyways, the suggestion is good, though. Specific vocabulary can be acquired over time. All right, next one. 2, don't squander your time. Language learning takes time. True, a lot of it. While it's definitely possible to achieve limited semi-functional fluency in a few months, you need to understand, even then, let's not use fluency. Let's stop using fluency in this situation. You can get better. You can improve in a few months. Semi-functional fluency in a few months? No. You need to understand that learning a language properly takes serious time, he's correct, and to achieve even basic conversational fluency, that's what I mean, in several months requires daily dedication. Fantastic. That's very good. Very good. One lesson a week or occasional study periods won't cut it. I love this. 100% agreed. Next, 3. Don't work against your learning strength. I told this story a while back of how I failed nearly everything in school. In my first year of college, I was hopeless in anything that involved study. That was until I discovered that I'm a visual spatial learner, which enabled me to radically change. Okay. So we are all very different, so take some time to assess what works for you. Sounds good. I don't know how that's a don't. Well, don't work against, I guess. Okay. 4, don't speak English or any other language. Correct. Don't speak anything other than your target language unless absolutely necessary. So a form of immersion. I agree. Now, of course, for some people, this is not possible for like every day, all day, unless you move to the country, or unless you are in an environment that is so well simulated, like almost as if you lived in another country, which is achievable. You can do it. Simulated immersion is how I call it. But there are plenty of people, like you can't just stop talking to your family, or like if you're going to go to work. It depends. But it's a good advice when it's possible. He says, I'm currently working as an English teacher in Korea. There you go. So my job requires me to speak English outside of work, apart from times like this, where I have to write a blog, post in English, or communicate with English speakers. Rarely, I use Korean. Well, that's fine. That's a good, very good advice. I saturate myself in Korean every day. 5, don't use outdated and inefficient methods. Grammar translation methods or tedious memorization of words and rules have been standard practice for centuries all over the world. They're outdated and totally ineffective. I agree. In general. Now, this needs a caveat, because we have to be careful not to think then that grammar is useless and you can just speak however you want. Not that that's what he's saying. I'm not trying to strawman the guy, but I'm saying some people might push it that far, and that's too far. But yeah, tedious memorization of words. If you make it tedious, yeah, it's bad. Like if you take a list of words, just read it, it's useless, pointless, you're wasting your time, you'll never learn. But there are ways to make memorization fun, of course. 6, don't have a macro goal without setting micro goals. Very good. Yes, I actually mentioned this in my book. Link in the description. What do I mean by macro and micro goals? A macro goal would be something like I want to learn French to pass a C1 test in 2 years. Right. Well, no, this is a bullshit goal if you're starting from scratch in 2 years. Unless, like, you move to France, I guess, or you are a full-time student, because C1 is really high level. 2 years is not, okay, it doesn't make it impossible if you move into the country and you use the language daily. But, whatever, I know where he's going, I'm just being pedantic, but you subscribed to me and you knew I was pedantic, so what do you want from me? It's a large long-term goal, he's right, and that you're ultimately aiming for, but you need smaller goals along the way to help you keep moving. He's absolutely right. The macro goals are the small outposts that you conquer, which give you constant motivation and a way to measure your progress when you look back on what you've done. I agree. Let's see some examples. Have 5 conversations every day each week. Yep. Get a haircut? Absolutely not. What are you on about? No, it's been 7 years, 8 years now since I last cut my hair. Not gonna happen. Make a transaction at the bank. Man, I know I'm kind of joking this, but I do remember many years ago as I was like looking for videos on how to succeed on YouTube. And I remember this guy who, by the way, didn't succeed. So like that's when I kind of stopped listening to people who have no success but tell you how to reach success. It's like listening to a guy who is completely like not fit at all, but tells you how to get the perfect body. Like, no, I'm not going to believe you if you haven't done it yourself. But when it comes to like this, I remember this guy saying, so if you want to succeed on YouTube, make sure you look good when you film your videos, shower, which I mean, fine. Make sure you don't speak too fast, but don't speak too slow. Get a haircut. And I'm like, no, what is it with get a haircut? Goodness gracious. Let your hair grow then. That's my advice, guys. If you want to succeed, I mean, think about it. Penguin Zero, most critical, super long hair, very successful. Me, moderately successful, super long hair. Asmongold, very successful, very long hair. I'm starting to see a pattern here. 7. Don't work hard on one skill and neglect the others. Correct. Okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. I like it. It's good to see. When I'm not learning languages or stuck at work, I'm probably training at the gym. If I miss a gym day, I can't live with myself. Oh, goodness gracious. One of the things I've learned to be careful about is making sure not to miss a major muscle group during week. Okay, I see where he's going with this. Very good. This is to avoid ending up like those blokes who have strong upper bodies and then an embarrassing set of pencil-thin legs. Yeah, chicken legs to go with it because they neglect it in their training. Chicken leg! I think of speaking, listening, reading, and writing as muscles that need plenty of divided attention. I agree. If conversation fluency is all that matters to you, then you might place less emphasis on reading and writing, but never underestimate the overall benefit that those skills will have on each other. I agree. And also depends on the inherent difficulty of said skills, because, I mean, learning how to read and write in Mandarin or in Japanese is monumentally more difficult than it is in Spanish, for instance, or English, so there is that. 8, don't use scrap material. A lot of people just can't tell the difference between good and bad material. Yeah, you should probably listen to people who have already gone through this and have like reviewed, maybe watch reviews. Antiquated or overly polite terminology and expression that nobody in real life actually uses. Irrelevant content, confusing or messy grammar. Irrelevant content kind of needs to be contextualized, because while I do agree that you should prioritize your vocabulary acquisition in terms of frequency, right? That's a very good thing to do. Well, these are the 1,000 most frequently used words in everyday conversations. You should probably have your priority. But then again, there is some vocabulary that might be irrelevant in general, but it's very relevant to you because of your hobbies. Like, for instance, I love playing video games in Mandarin, in Japanese, something that brings me joy. And so I end up learning words like sword, shield, spear, lance, armor, bronze, nails, copper ingot. I learn these and it brings me joy. So as long as you don't like only learn these and then I can say copper alloy, but I can't say good morning or I'm hungry, then there is a problem. But otherwise, irrelevant content depends. Anyways, use a romanized text rather than the original script are common problems. Right, but at the beginning, it's fine. Like, for instance, pinyin in Mandarin as a romanized, or romaji in Japanese. You can use them alongside, it's okay. Okay, good stuff. Next, 9. Don't disregard the culture. Absolutely. As I said before, this is one of the things that separates people who have ordinary success from those with outstanding success. Language is made up of so many intricate expression of culture and books, and courses never adequately cover them. He's right. I mean, at the end of the day, language and culture are interconnected. There is a certain level of overlap, and so they're juxtaposed. And so if you don't learn the culture, you will end up saying things that they wouldn't, because you're basically translating from your head and you're using expressions that make sense in your language, but they don't in the receiving or target language that you're trying to reach fluency in. So absolutely, you have to study the culture. Otherwise, it's just it's a LARP. All right, languages. Yes, I'm talking about the way in which the average ordinary person interacts with other people in his or her community. Gestures, intonation, slang, proximity, interjections, and cuss words, fillers, etc. And even more than that, the way vocabulary is used. Like, for instance, a lot of times in Japanese, while you may learn that thank you is arigato and sorry is sumimasen, but like if you drop a brolly, if you drop your umbrella and someone picks it up for you, in a Western sense, you would say, "Oh, thank you so much." But in Japan, they would apologize. They would say, "Ah, sumimasen," because they are sorry that they inconvenienced you. And if you don't know that, you might end up using "thank you" in a situation where a real native Japanese wouldn't have. Now, will they not understand what you mean? No, they understand. You're grateful for what you've done, but it will sound a little weird to them, just like it might sound weird to us when if you started being overly apologetic for things that normally we don't apologize for. You know what I mean? It's a cultural thing. There isn't a right or wrong. It's it's a contextual situation, and also helps you understand contextual cues. 10. Don't spend too much time studying. Study in short spaced sessions. Right, this one is the only one I'm going to disagree a little bit with. Let him finish. Sitting in front of a book or screen for hours on end, going over rules, flashcards, and so on, isn't going to make you learn faster. If anything, it'll hinder you. Have study periods of 15-30 minutes and spend the rest of your available time putting the language to use. Okay, right, all right. So I don't disagree with him. It's just that what I call study is everything, including putting the language to use, like even watching a movie, playing a game, speaking to someone. This is all language study to me. I think he's using the term study to mean the traditional idea of sitting at the desk. Then sure, I agree with him. Fine. 11. Don't abuse your physical well-being. Common sense advice, really. Most people should know that. Yeah, okay, obviously. 12. Don't wait until you're ready to speak. You're never going to be ready. People have this idea that if they acquire enough input over time, they'll be at the point where they can finally start conversing with other people. Yeah, it's true. It's not. There are some systems, and I strongly disagree with them, that actually tell you do not speak for the first year. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. You gain fluency through experience, because part of fluency is not just I know the word, but it's how confident am I? How many times have I done it? How many times did I get it wrong and then I got corrected? You remove all of that if you don't speak. And so you will F up, you will sound awful. You will be the antithesis of a fluent person if you don't speak for the first year. Instead, you need to build that ability to speak. Even if, of course, I'm not saying you're going to reach fluency in a year, but I'm saying you will sound so much better if you speak. I mean, even children try to speak from the very early stages. Even newborn babies, they coo. They do little cooing and whatnot. Okay, 13. Don't focus on grammar study. I agree. Applying grammar, maybe. 14. Don't read and listen to stuff that's way above your level. Well, actually, let's say your level +1 is what I would say. Your level +1 is a good advice. Occasionally you can, by the way, if you want. It's just that it is cognitively tiring. So I wouldn't suggest you to try and listen to an entire movie if you're still a lower intermediate or a beginner, because it's a lot. You're going to be tired, and what I would say is in short bursts, it's fine, though, to sometimes just try and see how much can I actually understand. Also because it exposes you to the sound, natural rhythm of the language. But generally, you want to be a little bit above your level. Yes, I made this point in a video. It's best to use material that you really understand most of. All right. So the fact that it qualifies it as most, I guess it's another way to say your level +1. So we agree. This guy is based. He knows what he's doing. 15. Don't allow other people to give you unrealistic expectation of feelings of inadequacy. Thank you. That means all the freaking fake frauds, polyglots that tell you they can reach fluency. They reached fluency in 3 weeks. Don't be discouraged by that guy or that girl who speaks amazingly well, or that. They've probably been learning for many years, true, and put in a lot of hard work. 16. Don't procrastinate with activities that make you think you're achieving something when you're not. Yeah. So one thing, sorry, going back to 15, it's kind of like if you go to the gym and you see the guy that has an amazing body, has the body of your dreams. We usually look up to that. Man, I really want to be like that guy, and it can be a source of motivation. And you should do the same with language learning. When you hear someone who's extremely fluent or so proficient, pronunciation is like mwah, incredible. The way they speak is just goodness gracious. You can hardly tell they're not native. Use that as a motivation. Oh, I want to be like him. And so that's good thing to do. 17, don't let technology make you stupid. Is he talking about TikTok? I have to say I do agree with some that the more technological advanced we get, the stupider we become. TikTok. It's so easy to jump on Google and immediately find an answer to something that we used to have to work hard to figure out. Yeah, I mean, sure. While there are definitely huge benefits to having so much online material at our fingertips, it also means that we are not training our problem-solving skills enough anymore. Fine, yeah. Don't pay for low-quality teachers. I agree. Sure. And don't rely too much on teachers. Yeah, a teacher is good, but it could be something that you do like once or twice a week, and then the rest you can study on your own, I suppose. But in the beginning stage, I think having a teacher is good because it can help you. Like, for instance, if you're fossilizing some mistakes, or if you think you're doing it right or you're pronouncing it right, but you don't have the skill level to be able to properly assess yourself, so you overestimate your ability. This is very typical. This is called the Dunning-Kruger effect. You might need a teacher to help you out with that. Anyways, very good article. I'm impressed. I loved it. So thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining Metatron's Academy. Have a good one. If you're enjoying this video so far, please take a moment to check out my Patreon page. With as little as a $5 support, you can help us ensure that we can continue to produce high quality and high researched content. And at the same time, you get access to polls, extra videos, unlisted streams, and much more. Thank you so much.